Hey, and welcome back to our reading test. We were looking at this yesterday and we're going to finish it today. So we are looking at Module 1, Lesson 17, The Fantastic Undersea Life of Jacques Cousteau. And as we continue on with that, we are in this FQT, or the Focusing Question Task 2, and this is day 2, which means we're going to be doing our second paragraph. And in our second paragraph, we're going to be talking about what do scientists learn when they explore the sea. So yesterday, when you started this process, you talked about how scientists explore the sea. So you were focused on tools that scientists use when they explore the sea. So today you're going to be thinking about what do they learn when they explore the sea. So when you think about learning, you want to think about what they discover, what they experience, what they know about the sea. So as they go through the sea, as a scientist explores the sea, what are some new things that they might experience or learn when they do? And when we refer back to Jacques Cousteau, what are some things that he learned or noticed when he explored the sea? So we're going to be utilizing the book today, which means you're going to want to click on this digital read aloud, which brings up this book, just like we've been using. And you can listen to the book by clicking the button, or you can read it on your own. So coming through, let's take a look at what we're doing today. So go skip through. You should see that you completed these sentences. You should have scientists use tools to explore the sea. Then you should have chosen a tool here and a page where it talks about that tool. Then you should have expressed what that tool does and how Jacques Cousteau used it in the book that we read in your own words. And then you're going to think of another tool, or you thought of another tool and what page it was on. And at the end, you were elaborating, saying that Jacques Cousteau did something. So hopefully you were talking about he used tools while exploring the sea. So you can check yours out, make sure that you were thinking that you were talking about he using tools, or you can say specifically which tools he used that you set up in the top. So let's say you said goggles and flippers, you would say he used goggles and flippers to do something. What was it? Let's move on to day 2. So day 2, which is complete paragraph 2. Paragraph 2, the question is, what do scientists learn when they explore the sea? So use one piece of evidence from Jacques Cousteau about what scientists learn when they explore the sea. So our T is our topic statement, and we have written that for you to kind of help out a little bit. I know that it's just so tough when we're on remote learning, and in class we'd be discussing the topic sentence and we'd be discussing what we should put for our topic sentence. In this case, we've given you that one already, but we want you guys to practice finding the evidence and elaborating on the evidence. So listen to this sentence. While exploring the sea, scientists are able to learn and discover a lot of new information. So what do they learn is the question. For example, on page 2, it says, now I'm going to go to page 2 in the book. Page 2 is right here. Now page 2 and 3 have a quote. The sea, once it casts its spell, holds one in its net of wonder forever. That's Jacques Cousteau saying that. And then also here it says, Jacques Cousteau loved the sea. He spent his whole life exploring it. The ocean was the most incredible place he'd ever seen, and he wanted to share its beauty with the world. So thinking of those two things that are on that page, from the quote bubble and this text, what is one that talks about Jacques Cousteau discovering or learning new information? So when you look at these two, the sea, once it casts its spell, holds one in its net of wonder forever. Or I like this part, the ocean was the most incredible place he'd ever seen. I think that goes to show how it's something that new that he was discovering, especially being that like this is the beginning of the book. And we're talking about how he's exploring the sea and how much he loved it. And it says that it was incredible. When something's incredible, you usually want to explore it more. So I think that's something that we can focus on. So when you're typing here, you want to make sure that you are keeping the quotation marks because you are taking the quote here. So you're picking something from this paragraph or this quote bubble, and you're going to type it word for word, proving that Jacques Cousteau is either learning or discovering new information from that text. So which sentence or which part of a sentence shows that he's discovering something? Type that in here. Then for elaboration, this is your own words, so your thoughts based on what you learned from the book. When he explored the ocean, he learned. What's something that he learned when he explored the ocean? Which means that you're going to want to go through and look at places where he's exploring the ocean. So obviously here is not going to be a place where he's exploring the ocean. He's tinkering still. Here he's looking at the ocean, and it talks about some of the things that he experienced to get himself into the ocean, and how his friends gave him a pair of goggles and it changed his life forever. So it's still talking about him not really exploring too much of the ocean yet. But then we get down here and he wanted to stay underwater to see even more. So as we start to go further into the book, we see that he's now exploring the ocean. He's exploring the sea. What does he see? What does he learn? What does he experience? What does he discover? Find something within these pages that he saw or experienced or discovered, and find one of those quotes, and then place that information here. When he explored the ocean, he learned and expressed what it is. So then this one also on page blank, it says, you're doing it again. You're saying, what is something he learned? Which page is it? So this is not the same thing as this one. This is something new. What is something he learned or discovered or saw on a different page? So then on your elaboration, you're saying, by going deeper and deeper into the ocean, Jacques Cousteau was able to do what? So go back to your topic statement. What was he able to do? Jacques Cousteau was able to, check out this sentence. But in this case, instead of saying discover a lot of new information, you should be more specific and say what he was able to discover, what he was able to notice. And that would come from your elaboration and evidence here, these two boxes. What did he learn? What did he discover? And then the closing statement is already here for us. So it says, scientists are able to use different tools and equipment to help them learn and discover new things about the sea. And one thing I do want to take notice to is how the closing statement is very much related to that topic statement for this second paragraph, about scientists being able to learn and discover a lot of new information. Whenever you write a closing statement, it should match what you started with. So this is related to your topic statement, and all of the center stuff is related to the beginning and the end. So everything connects together. So if you have those boxes filled in, this E, this E, this E, this E, 4 E's. Evidence, elaboration, you are finished. If you have questions, make sure you're catching me on Zoom or Go Guardian. Can't wait to help you out. Looking forward to seeing you. Palm.